So who is Alabama's secret running back? You already know who it is. You better be knowing before I mention him in this video. All right, let's first talk about the Week 3 injury report. Now, earlier today on Friday, Pete Nakos of On3 reported that Jam Miller and Tim Keenan will be held out of this weekend's matchup against Wisconsin. We discussed this a lot this week. Should Jam Miller play Tim Keenan? They were both game time decisions, but I think it's clear and apparent that Alabama has other guys that can fill these voids, and you want these guys not 100%. You want these guys 1,000% before Alabama enters the SEC opener with the Georgia Bulldogs, right, on the back end of the month. So not worried about Jam, not worried about Tim Keenan. These aren't lingering injuries. I think they'd probably be able to go if they really needed to. But I think against Wisconsin, a team that we're all very confident in, you have guys who are going to be able to hold the rope until these veterans come back for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Ryan Williams is healthy. I'm going to ask you about Ryan Williams. Do you think he has a bounce-back game against Wisconsin? Do you think he scores a touchdown? I think, look, I said this during a video earlier this week. It's not going to take a long time for the world to fall in love with Hollywood again. One big play, one miraculous play that he's capable of doing, everybody will be talking Hollywood. Don't sell on Hollywood. Jeremiah Beeman out for the season, unfortunately. And then John Latham, I guess he's a game time decision as well. Let's talk about this secret running back. Now, everybody knows that it's Kevin Riley, a redshirt freshman out of Tuscaloosa County High School, right? Representing the county. I love in-state guys. Kevin Riley is a guy that not a lot of people discussed during the springtime, during fall camp. I always go back to what head football coach Kalen DeBoer said during the springtime is that Kevin Riley has a little bit more shake than everybody else. And that always stuck in my mind. So we get to fall camp, and you got Jam Miller, you got Richard Young, you got Daniel Hill, Dre Washington, who transferred in. Most of those guys are kind of getting their notoriety, as well as A.K. Deere, because let's face it, you get a big-time running back in, people want to see the freshman. Not a lot of people spoke about Kevin Riley. Kevin Riley didn't go to social media, didn't complain about people not talking about him. What he did was he made the most of his opportunities during week 1, right? Jam Miller goes out, so who's going to step up at the running back position? I really have appreciated Coach Ryan Grubb's schematics in terms of utilizing Kevin Riley. I think he's a player that has been used correctly, but also with that said, I think Kevin Riley has playmaking ability. I think he's fast. I think he runs between the tackles really fast, and a lot of people have been comparing him to Yeldon. I heard a Glenn Coffey comparison. As you start to watch more Kevin Riley, is there another running back that he reminds you of? With a player like this, he's hot. And I think it's a smart move by Alabama to go into this game against Wisconsin. I would imagine that he's running back 1, and you let him do his thing. And I think Wisconsin's going to have a very difficult time trying to stop somebody like this. I really do. And it only adds added value to the Alabama running back room when Jam Miller comes back for that Georgia game, right? Because then you look at Alabama's running back room, Jam Miller, Richard Young, Daniel Hill, Kevin Riley. And what I like about that room is you have a variety of running backs that do different things, right? Jam Miller, he's a vet, probably the best in pass protection, an all-purpose type back, can catch the football really well. You have Kevin Riley, the speed type back, right, that can get 6 to 7 yards, maybe break a long one. You have Richard Young, who's big, imposing. You have Daniel Hill, who's a bulldozer at 260. You have A.K. Deere. You have Jalen Washington, who's a bowling ball type player. So a lot of versatility within that running back room. But I would imagine that you get a big day. Like I would imagine like a 2-score day, maybe close to 100 yards for Kevin Riley on Saturday against Wisconsin. Thumbs up inside the comment box if you've been impressed with Riley so far. All right, so I have a question about this weekend's game. When we go to the full screen monitor on Sleeper, you can pick more or less. So Dylan Jones right now favored to run for 37 yards. More or less, man, I'm thinking less. I think Alabama's defense will be able to stop him. The times Alabama's defense has struggled, it's been against quarterbacks that can run. I think Alabama's defense plays inspired, and I think they're able to stop Dylan Jones. So I'm going to take less. Remember, when you download Sleeper, you can use the promo code, which is tailgate, right? That's our new promo code, and get a $100 deposit up to $100. Terms and conditions, of course, apply. For this one, Ty Simpson. You think he throws 2 touchdowns in this game? These next 2 seem pretty easy to me. Yes, I think he throws 2 touchdowns. I think he comes off that 17 of 17 incredible performance, memorable performance, and I think he balls out on Saturday. I really do. I think he carries that momentum over. So I'm gonna have Ty Simpson probably with 4 touchdowns total. He'll probably run 1 in or 2 in, but yeah, 2 touchdowns for sure. And then Jeremy Bernard, this is easy money right here. Down here at the bottom, you have Jeremy Bernard, and I would imagine that he's able to, catch for more than 66 yards. He's wide receiver number 1 right now with the University of Alabama. So less for Dylan Jones, more for Ty Simpson passing, and more for Jeremy Bernard. Let me know what you think. Remember, the promo code is tailgate. All right, right now, going into week 3, I think this is fair. Do you agree with me in terms of the strengths and the weaknesses? We'll start with the strengths right now. The abundance of talent is clear right now on the football team. Whether you're looking at the freshmen that have had opportunities, you look at some of the vets, the abundance of talent, these guys have recruited incredibly well, all right? The play of Ty Simpson, look, I think that's going to continue to spur this team, not only in a game like against Wisconsin, but I think furthermore when we move just because of his playmaking ability. They're unbeaten at home. They play really well at Bryant-Denny Stadium under Coach Kalen DeBoer. In fact, they're undefeated. Now, for the weaknesses, I think the run defense, right? That is an area of concern. Not necessarily against like a running back, but I think a running back quarterback combo and with the offensive coordinator that has the schematics. Like Gus Malzahn was the worst nightmare for this Alabama defense. Currently, they are ranked 102 in the nation. As I mentioned, the running quarterback. So you look at Alabama's schedule going forward, who are other running quarterbacks or dual threat quarterbacks that they'll face? I'll show you in just a second. And then playing on the road, this is a challenging schedule. 2-5 on the road under Coach Kalen DeBoer. ChatGPT loves Alabama's chances the rest of the way. We've been tracking this. But look at the quarterbacks you're going to face, right? Gunnar Stockton, how good is he? Maybe we find out against Tennessee. You got Vanderbilt, Diego Pavia. I would say he can run a little bit, right? Missouri's quarterback, the transfer from Penn State. He looks pretty athletic. Tennessee, Joey Aguilar. South Carolina, Norris Sellers. LSU, Garrett Nussmeier. He's more pocket passer, right? John Mateer looks incredible. And then you have Jackson Arnold down here for Auburn. So, you're facing quarterbacks that are good, that are dual threat, and you're going on the road against Georgia, Missouri, South Carolina, and Auburn. Those are difficult matchups, period. This weekend's weather looks absolutely fantastic for the game. You got 80% temperature, 80-degree temperature for the tailgate early in the morning, 87 degrees for kickoff in the fourth quarter, 91 degrees for that fourth quarter. And this is my score prediction, fam. All right, this is what I'm going with. Posters inside the comment box. I think that Alabama definitely dominates Wisconsin, okay? And I have Alabama 42, and I have Wisconsin 3. I don't think that Wisconsin gets into the end zone. I really don't. And I still have reservations about Alabama's defense. I just think that Wisconsin isn't a team that is going to challenge the Crimson Tide. Hey, I want to get your score prediction. Let me know what you think about Kevin Riley inside the comment box. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, one day away from kickoff. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Thanks for watching.